Here's a $149 keyboard from Kiiboom with a 75% layout, a Trimode connectivity, and a standout design combining a clear acrylic and anodized aluminum housing, giving it both a premium look and feel. Now it's got a gasket structure with dumbbell silicone gaskets, which should add some nice flexibility to your typing experience. This one also packs a massive 8000 mAh battery, so solid battery life here. This also features a steel knob for added functionality, and it comes equipped with Kiiboom's matcha latte switches. These switches have a smooth, satisfying linear feel that's perfect for both typing and gaming. We'll go over these in more detail later on. Now the box contents are pretty generous, and it's clear that Kiiboom didn't skip on extras. Inside, you'll find a microfiber cloth, its manual, braided white cable, keycap puller, switch puller, 2 spare switches, 2 spare feet, 2 spare screws, and even a screwdriver. Now let's start with the cloth. It's a nice alternative to traditional PET dust cover. I actually think this could work since I can also use it to clean the board as well. The cable is braided white and comes with an attachment for the dongle, which is a handy little feature. And as for the keycap puller, it's pretty generic, but the switch puller on the other hand is really sleek. Definitely a nice addition to the box. The knob here is made of aluminum and is secured by a hex screw for a tighter fit. And speaking of build quality, the keyboard itself is heavy, with no creaks or flexing at all. It feels premium in both look and feel, as I already said a while back. Top of the keyboard features toggle switches and a USB port that's slightly off center. And on the underside, there are 4 rubber circle pads stuck on with adhesive. Now overall, I have no complaints. The attention to detail and included accessories really elevate the unboxing experience. Now this keyboard comes in 4 color options, giving you a bit of customization right from the start. The one standout feature here is the knurled aluminum knob, designed for extra grip, which feels satisfying to use. Now the board itself also features a transparent acrylic with a subtle rubbery texture. The top case is silver anodized aluminum, giving it a clean, premium look with no branding whatsoever on top. Kiiboom's kept the branding discreet with only a small mark underneath the board. One interesting detail with the RGB is the bottom housing having its own lighting effects that doesn't sync up with the switches. Now this could be a hit or miss depending on your preference. Now if you haven't already noticed, under the PCB there's no damper, which I'll dive into more later. For now, it's worth noting that it might affect how much sound and vibration transfers through the board, depending on the typist of course. Keycaps here are cherry profile Dysa PVTs with no shine through for LEDs. The plate mounted stabilizers are pre-lubed and have a very slight wobble to them. I don't think extra lube is needed here, but that's something you may want to do of course. Onto the switches, these have Kiiboom matcha lattes in them. Biggest pro here is its RGB diffuser, so LED doesn't cause glare. With a 45-gram operating force, I think it's just perfect for gaming or even for typing. Now this is made with a full PC housing. The stem here is made of LY, and I think LY and PC combo sounds a bit more on the clacky side. Now if you have any questions, let me know in the comments section below. Let's move on. So the software here is pretty standard with key binding features over here, and you can even key bind your mouse buttons into your keyboard. There's only one function layer here in case you're wondering. Moving on to macros, pretty much standard macro recording with the ability to record mouse buttons and clicks right there. And it also records middle mouse buttons, by the way. As for lighting, there are lots of RGB modes to choose from here, and you can choose RGB by pressing on dazzle, or you can choose single color by choosing any color right here. Also, this has a feature for you to share RGB lights, and I believe this is for keybinds, and also some macros along with hundreds of other Kiiboom keyboard users. In this tab, you could log into Kiiboom's cloud, so you could save your configurations and apply it to another Kiiboom keyboard. And lastly, the rest here is pretty much self-explanatory. So let's move on. So I expected the teardown to be as easy as just removing the screws, but the knob, it actually has a hex screw right there that's holding it together, so you're gonna have to loosen that hex screw before pulling it out. Aside from that, remove the screws and the top case can easily be taken out. Lifting up the PCB and the plate here, there's only one cable to the daughter board right there, and the battery is underneath this acrylic. Very good design. Anyways, let's go over internals. The gaskets here are made of silicone, and it's my first time to see this kind of gasket mount. These are dumbbell gaskets that are connected to each one. Wow, I've never seen anything like this before. Looking at the PCB here, I am not seeing any flex cuts. However, on the bright side, I'm seeing ports for screw-in stabilizers. So looking at the PC plate here, it doesn't have flex cuts on it. But to me, that's just alright. Now, moving on to the dampers, there's really nothing much to talk about here in terms of dampers. So looking closely here, we have Poron sandwich foam right there. Then we have an IXP switch pad right underneath that. And then underneath the IXP switch pad is a layer of PET anti-static film. I believe it's stuck to the PCB with adhesive, so I couldn't lift it up. But it's seen through the camera if you look very, very closely right there.